Hello everyone! For today's vlog, I want to take you to the beautiful, charming Italian Tuscan city of Lucca, a city situated near the Serchio River, famously known for its ancient walls, medieval towers, and piazzas. In the Catholic world, however, Lucca is known as a pilgrim center and known for its numerous churches. It is also home to the ancient miraculous image of the Volto Santo, or the Holy Face of Jesus of Lucca, a crucifix believed to be the oldest in Europe. It is also home to a famous mystic and saint, Saint Gemma Galgani, a 19th and 20th century laywoman who lived within the central historical area of Lucca, where she received several mystical phenomena such as the stigmata or the 5 wounds of Jesus Christ. If you want to know more about the Volto Santo and Saint Gemma, check out my vlog here in my channel, and don't forget to click the like and subscribe button. Lucca is also home to another locally popular saint. She is the patron saint of housekeepers, household help, household chores, lost keys, domestic workers, and overseas workers. She is also the patron saint of Lucca itself. She is no other than Saint Zita, or sometimes referred to as Saint Zita of Lucca.
Hello everyone, it's Anton on the go here, and good morning from the city of Lucca in the region of Tuscany. Now my vlog for today is quite unexpected because as of this filming, I didn't realize that the city of Lucca is actually celebrating the feast of its patron saint, Saint Zita, who is also considered the patron of domestic workers and helpers. You know, it's interesting because I'm in the square right now, in front of the San Frediano Basilica here in Lucca. There's an exhibition and even the sale of flowers, and this is a special tradition by the locals to honor their patron saint, Zita. So I believe this event is called the Flower Market Exhibition, and my friend and I arrived here in Lucca just in time for the festivities. So as a result of this, I want to share with you all of this important saint whose life is still relevant today. So especially in this section of Lucca, Saint Zita is very important. There is a cafe named in her honor, named Cafe Santa Zita. And here are some flowers that are for sale and on exhibition as part of the flower market festival to honor Saint Zita. Now, before I get into her story, Saint Zita is celebrated here in Lucca, but she's not that well known outside of this ancient city or Italy. She's not that well known outside of Italy, unfortunately. However, I do recall reading about her in the past in a book called The Incorruptibles by Joan Carol Cruz, which talks about a list of saints whose bodies have been found to be miraculously preserved without the use of any artificial means. In other words, the bodies of these saints have not decomposed, and science could simply not explain them for the reason why their bodies haven't been decomposing in the past. In the San Frederiano Basilica, also here in Lucca, this is the Lucca Cathedral, but the San Frederiano Basilica is a few minutes away from here. Saint Zita's body is enshrined there and has been deemed to be incorrupt. And she has passed from this world since 1278, which was over 700 years ago, and her body is pretty much still preserved.
Zita was born into a poor but devout Catholic family roughly around the years 1211 to 1218 in Monte Sagrati near Lucca. At the age of 12, to help her impoverished family, Zita became a housekeeper in the house of a rich weaver named Fatinelli in the city of Lucca. She stayed with that family for 48 years. Zita would rise several hours before the rest of the family or even before the other housekeepers and spent a considerable part of time in prayer, including attending daily mass. Her daily work became a part of her religious life. She was often known to say, A girl is not holy if she is not hardworking and productive. As I retell the story of this largely unknown yet powerful saint, I am reminded of Corazon Luna, who has been working for our family for the past 37 years as of this filming. Last summer, I had the opportunity again to return to Metro Manila in the Philippines where I grew up, and return to my childhood home where I had the chance to interview Corazon Luna, who has retained her charm and joy. In many ways, her story runs parallel to that of Saint Zita of Lucca, one of loyalty, simplicity, and heroic hiddenness in daily work. Corazon's story is similar to many Filipinos.
Sabi mo Tuesday!
Hello everyone! So I'm here now in my childhood home here in the Philippines. It's very nostalgic to be back again in the place where I grew up. And right here with me is a very special person, not just to me but to our family. This is Corazon Luna. She's been with us in our family for 36 years, since 1989, since before I was born. She's been working here in our household. And she reminds me a lot about Saint Zita. Because of her loyalty and of her service to our family for a very long time. So I just wanted to take this opportunity for all of you viewers to get to know her story. Taga saan po kayo? At ilan taon na po kayo dito nagtatrabaho dito sa bahay?
Taga Leyte. Bagami Leyte.
Nagami Leyte. So Leyte is in the Visayas region of the Philippines. So we are in the island of Luzon. Leyte is Region 8. It's another island in the Philippines. Tsaka, ilan taon na po kayo nagtatrabaho dito sa bahay?
36 years.
36.
Since 1989 until now.
1989 until now. So that was even before I was born. And even when my parents were still very young.
Corazon shares how she grew up in a large family of farmers in a household of 16 members, which is common in the Philippine provinces. Not much is known about Saint Zita's family tree, except that she had an older sister and uncle who entered the religious life. I guess it is safe to assume that Zita herself came from a large family, as was common as well back in the day.
Nagpa-farmer lang yung magulang ko. Farmer.
So ilan kayo sa pamilya ng?
14?
So 16 kayo, plus magulang, no? 14.
Pero tatlo yung patay.
Tatlong. Ano nangyari dun sa yung kapatid mo?
Firstborn.
Firstborn. Tapos yung
Saka yung kambal.
Yung kambal.
Kambal.
Corazon's family. 14 kids. Tama ba? 14 kids. 14 kids. And 3 of them passed away because of complications also. And that's usually normally the case here also in the Philippines, especially when you go to the province. Bigger families to support the family. And just like Corazon's here, her family, she comes from a family of farmers.
In order to support her family, Zita left for the larger city of Lucca to work when she was only 12 years old. Labor laws weren't in place back then. She found herself in the wealthy Fatinelli household, and today, a memorial honoring Saint Zita can still be found on the street where the Fatinelli home once stood. One can only imagine the fear and confusion of Zita when she first moved into the large house of the Fatinellis. One can also imagine that Zita most likely had dreams and aspirations of her own. But in order to help her family, her options were limited. Such is the case with Corazon, who shared her simple life in the countryside, her aspirations, and when she arrived in Manila to work.
Nag-aani ng palay.
Nag-aani kayo ng palay? Oo.
Tapos laro-laro, ilaw sa ilog, naliligo.
Naliligo, gano'n, no? So, very simple life. So, for her, like, planting seeds and just playing by the river that she finds very memorable.
Akyat ng mga puno.
Akyat-akyat ang mga puno, like climbing up the trees. Yeah. So, Nang ano po yung mga pangarap niyo dati nung bago kayo lumabas? Anong gusto mong gawin dati?
Gusto ko sana mag-aral, kaso walang pang-support.
Walang pang support. So, Corazon, she wanted to study.
Mag-aral ng nursing, ganun. Hindi natuloy.
Gusto mo maging nurse dati?
Oo. Pero hindi natuloy.
Hindi natuloy. So she wanted to become a nurse as well, but because of the lack of support, so she wasn't able to.
Mahirap lang.
Mahirap.
Mahirap ang buhay.
Bakit kailangan yung umalis para magtrabaho dito sa Manila?
Para tulungan yung magulang ko. Akala ko maganda maging kasabay. Pala mahirap.
Mahirap din pa.
Saka gusto ko makatulong kay Lena sa katatay.
Oo.
Yun. Kaya ako nagtrabaho ng ganito.
Paano mo nahanap yung trabaho dito sa bahay?
Kasi pumunta ako dito. Kinausap ko si Virgie. Tapos, sabi ni Virgie, naghahanap daw si Lena mo ng trabaho. Ay, ng papasok. Na, ganun. Tapos, sakto naman galing ako sa Leyte ng bakasyon. Dito na ako pinapagtrabaho. Kinuha ako ng lola mo.
1989. So, anong naramdaman mo nung umalis kayo sa inyo dun sa Leyte?
Siyempre, nakakalungkot. Siyempre, hindi mo kasama magulang.
Ikaw lang mag-isa
Pero
lang?
every year, sabi ng lola mo, pwede ako mag-bakasyon.
Pero, mag-isa ka lang nung pumunta ka dito sa Manila, mag-isa ka lang.
Kasama ko ang ate ko, si Ate Luz.
Si Ate Luz, kayong dalawa dito.
Pero si Ate Luz, nagtatrabaho na rin dito sa Manila.
Saan ang trabaho naman niya?
Doon sa Quezon City.
Sa Quezon City.
Sa mga tourist family.
Saint Zita's daily chores and routine included baking bread, cleaning, and managing the household, which she approached with extreme diligence. Zita rose several hours before the rest of the family to attend Mass and pray, considering her work to be an employment assigned to her by God. Because of her diligence and service, she was made the head of the housekeepers in the Fatinelli household. Just like Saint Zita, Corazon has become like family in our home as someone whom we trust and love, especially to my grandparents because of her resourcefulness.
Tagalinis. Si Virgie, tagaluto.
Tagaluto.
Yun.
Anong oras ka nagigising namin?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Tapos anong oras ka natatapos sa trabaho?
Mga 12 o'clock, wala na.
12 o'clock, wala na.
Tapos after lunch, papahinga na kami. Sabi ni Lola mo, magpahinga kami 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Yun. Tapos yun lang, pabalik-balik yun.
Tapos mag-garden na kayo.
Oo, mag-garden.
So when I was growing up, my cousins and I, in our garden here, we used to play. We used to play here all the time. So we were a bit of menaces over here. And she can also attest to that, right? We used to play with everyone here in the house. Pero masaya naman, di ba? Maingay. Minsan masyadong maingay.
Minsan ang gulo, no?
Minsan magulo.
Zita was known for her devotion and good works, especially in caring for the poor. She often gave the good food she received to the poor and lived on scraps or fasted. She wore only the poorest clothes and never put on shoes even in winter. This, however, did not always sit well with her employers or co-workers, especially because her good works often included giving away their bread, leftover food, and sometimes their own clothing. It's also said she sometimes neglected her morning bread baking duties to attend daily mass, saintly perhaps, but most annoying to her co-workers. As the story goes, the other household servants were jealous of her goodness and reported her theft of bread to the head of the family. Zita never complained, however, about the scorn from her fellow servants. Instead, she cheerfully carried on, day after day, year after year, with those tasks which had calcified into her routine. A third of her wages she gave to support her family in Monte Sagrati. Another third she gave away to those in need. Whatever little she had left, she saved for her own. It was even said that the angels helped Zita whenever she'd gotten herself into a pinch.
Ate Corazon, very strong woman. Never underestimate her. So, here in the house, right, she's gone through a lot in the 36 years here at home. She's gone through a lot. Ang dami niya na rin pinagdaanan dito sa bahay, no? Kung lahat na yung mga nangyari rin dito sa bahay. So, sa tagal niya na dito sa bahay nakaramdam ba kayo ng hindi pagkakaintindihan sa mga ibang katrabaho din, ganyan?
Oo naman.
Anong naramdaman?
Mga sip-sip.
Mga sip-sip, oo. So,
Yung mga
minsan yung mga may nagsaselos ba, ganun din?
Oo, yung mga sinisiraan ka. Pero hindi ko yung pinapansin. Wala naman akong hindi ko pinapansin yung kasi hindi naman totoo.
Hindi naman totoo. So, anong ginagawa mo na lang kapag nakakarinig ka ng ganyan?
Hindi lang umimik.
So, kapag yung may ganyan, yung lalo na yung parang medyo malala na, anong ginagawa? Wala lang.
Wala lang. Umiyak lang ako. Tapos,
umiyak ka na lang.
hindi ako namamansin.
Nagdadasal ka na lang.
Tapos, wala lang. Hindi rin naman makatay sila. Hindi lang naman sila. Yung mga noon pa. Yung mga noon.
Pero, ano ang dahilan na kung bakit ka nanatili dito sa bahay for 36 years?
Hanggang ngayon, ang may sinusuportahan kami doon sa bahay, sa probinsya. Yung nabubuhay pa sila kaya ako gusto ko makatulong din sa kanila. Lagi akong papadala sa kanila, ganun. Tapos, akala ko wala na. Hanggang ngayon, meron akong sinusuportahan sa bahay. Yung katulad ng sound of pandemic, pinagawa ko ng bahay. yung naipon ko nung pandemic, kasi siyempre walang labas-labas, walang DOP, walang gastos-gastos, walang pamilya. Nakaipon ako, yung siyahon ko, yung pinagawa ko ng bahay ng salita. Tapos hanggang ngayon, yung kapatid ko kasi, hindi ba nang Yolanda, nasira yung bahay namin. So ngayon, noon lang kami nakapagbabayo. Pinagawa ko yung bahay namin after Yolanda. Tapos hanggang ngayon, humihingi sa akin. Siyempre, kung sino lang sa kanila, doon, humihingi ng tulong. Napunta yung sahod.
Yun. So
hanggang ngayon, walang katapusan.
Well, you see, this is Ate Corazon for you. Like, very quiet, but she's very generous with her heart. She helps her family, and as you said, because of the typhoon here, nawala po yung bahay nila nung Yolanda. Pero nagpatayo na ulit po yung bahay nila. Yeah, so she has a house. They have a new house now.
Kasi yung bahay namin kasi wala naman yung kapatid ko nag-asawa tapos naghiwalay na. Siyempre gusto bumalik doon sa bahay. Wala kayong bahay. Kaya pinagawa ko. Mula nung Yolanda, noon lang nagawa ng 2020. Kailan, basta after pandemic, napagawa ko.
One of the famous miracles associated with Saint Zita has to do with the miracle of flowers, which is also the reason why she is a patron saint for florists and flowers. One day, when Zita's employer asked her what she was hiding in her apron, which was, of course, the bread she was taking to the poor, she answered that it was just flowers. Luckily, this little white lie did not preclude later sainthood. When he demanded that she open her apron, out tumbled flowers, which was deemed a miracle. Zita's piety eventually came to be recognized as sincere. A mere show can only be put on for so long. Her employers' and fellow servants' attitudes towards Zita softened considerably over the years. The Fatinielis eventually considered Zita to be a dear friend, rather than just an employee, trusting her enough to put her in charge of all the household servants. A living saint's presence can do much to soften the hearts of those in their vicinity over time. Zita never used the authority given to her as an excuse to exact any sort of revenge on those who'd once scornfully tormented her. She was known to be particularly strict, however, only when it regarded the introduction of vice into the household. There are also other miracles associated with Saint Zita, including the notion that angels staffed the Fatinelli kitchen, baking the bread while Zita went to church at the nearby San Frediano Basilica. While Corazon might not have a share in spectacular miracles like Saint Zita, both have had their fair share of suffering.
Nung nagkasakit yung kapatid ko dito, si Karina.
Si Karina.
Kasi nagtrabaho din siya dito eh.
From what year siya nagtrabaho dito?
Mga 5 years siya dito eh.
Oo.
Tapos yun, pero may sakit siya na hindi namin alam na inborn yung sakit na. Dito nangyari. Yung time na nagkasakit siya.
Tapos ano
yun
nangyari?
ang hindi ko malimutan.
Ano nangyari?
Na confine siya sa Los Santos. Tapos, tinaningan na agad siya. Yun, tinaningan siya ng buhay niya kung ilang buwan na lang siya gano'n. Kaya hindi ko makalimutan yun kasi si lola mo may sakit. Ang lagnat niya 49 ata. Si lolo mo, kagagaling lang sa sakit. Tapos, nung gabing yun, inatake si Karina. Tapos yun ang hindi ka maglimutan.
Parang yung siya, yung...
Nahilo. Parang nakumba siya. Oo.
Tapos parang siya, nahimatay siya.
Tapos, wala na siyang kulirap. Tapos, si lola mo, tumawag sa De Los Santos. Tinawagan doon sa emergency. Tapos, pina-ready sila na may dadating dyan yung maid daw niya, sabi. Tapos lang nag-drive si lolo mo. Pero may sakit pa si lolo mo. Tapos nagbantay kami doon hanggang 10 o'clock. Mga 7 namin, before 7 namin, mga 6:30 ganyan. Hindi na namin sa hospital. Tapos yun.
Doon na rin siya na
Sabi ng daddy niya, 4 to 6 months na lang si Karina.
Yun siya. Siya yung pinakabata, di ba?
Ano yun?
Okay. So, siya yung pinakabata, di ba, sa inyo? Pinakabata sa inyo na... tapos...
Pinasundo ko yung kapatid ko kasi hindi kami basta-basta umaalis dito, kailangan niya kapalit eh. Ang ginawa, pumunta yung dalawang kapatid ng lalaki eh. Dapat iuwi kasi hindi pwede sa kay Seros namin. Bagal. Ang ginawa, dinala na lang namin sa ate ko sa Nueva Ecija. Tapos, inalagaan ng nanay ko doon sa mga kapatid, si Bergie. Nag-alaga sila doon. Tapos ako naman, tuwing day off ko doon, ako nagdi-day off ko para bisitahin siya.
Saan siya ngayon nakaburol si ate Carmen?
Sa Leyte.
Sa Leyte na. So at least nakauwi yung niya, yung doon sa inyo.
Pero hindi pa siya patay nun kasi gusto niya doon sa Laga mamatay siya.
Sa Leyte. Kasi
nagsabi yun, ayaw niya sa Nueva Ecija. Pero, puma na siya. Nung inuwi namin siya.
Despite encountering difficulties, Corazon also has her share of joyful moments such as her marriage to Jervy Luna, where they celebrated their 20th anniversary this last 2025.
December 22, 2005.
205. Happiest memory mo din yan, masaya ka din.
Mula nag-asawa kami, hindi pa kami nag-aaway.
So, anong rason dyan? Ba't hindi kayo nag-aaway?
Siguro yun. Dahil mahal namin isa't isa siguro. Kaya ganun. Mabait si Jen.
Pero anong sekreto nga nyo, yung pagmamahal? Paano kayo nagmamahal?
Sabi ni Ginan po, yung mami niya, kailangan daw magtapat sa isa't isa para walang away.
Yan talaga yung...
wala daw lihiman. Kaya, yun, alam niya yun.
So, honesty and communication is the secret to their very happy and successful marriage.
Saint Zita passed away on April 27th around the years 1272 to 1278. Legend has it that when she died, the bells of San Frediano began ringing on their own. Zita was buried soon after and her sanctity became renowned. Several hundred years after her death, her body was moved from its grave to her own chapel in the church of San Frediano. The chapel was built by a later generation of Fatinellis. When exhumed, it was discovered that Zita's body had not deteriorated but was incorrupt, another miracle granted only to selected saints. In 1696, Zita was canonized as saint by Pope Innocent XII. And today, her remains lie inside the glass coffin in San Frediano. Once a year, to mark the April 27th anniversary of her death, Zita's coffin is moved to the central part of the church, where it is surrounded by flowers and candles. Small bunches of flowers are sold inside the church, and people hold them as they pass by Saint Zita's body, reverently laying their hands on the coffin. Being able to touch the glass coffin of this precious Saint of Lucca was an experience getting to know the humility of this largely unknown, yet powerful saint. April 27 is an important holiday for Lucca as the local people celebrate the Festa di Santa Zita. As part of the Festa di Santa Zita, there are floral displays in the piazza in front of San Frediano and a colorful flower market inside the nearby amphitheater square, making the week of April 27 a lovely time to be in Lucca. It is also a celebration to welcome the springtime season in the city of Lucca. During the feast of Saint Zita, one can also find the streets filled with medieval-themed parades. So here in Lucca, the feast of Saint Zita is a very big deal. Of course, because she's the patron saint of the city. And as you can see here, there's a lot happening. Aside from the flower markets, we just passed by a parade. And it's also a Sunday, so it's also very busy. But Saint Zita is a big deal here, right? She might not be a well-known saint like Saint Padre Pio or Saint Therese of Lisieux, but she's definitely special to the people here in Lucca. Her image can be seen everywhere here in the city. There are, as I mentioned a while ago, even bakeries and coffee shops named after her. There are companies named after her here in Lucca. So it's very interesting to see how the city of Lucca honors their patron saint. And this is worth telling because even if she's not a well-known saint, as I mentioned, Saint Zita is still very relevant today because she is the patron saint of homemakers, caregivers, overseas workers, household help. Bago tayo matapos anong mensahe na gusto mo bigay sa mga ibang katulong, ibang mga domestic workers, yung mga nahihirapan dyan? Anong gusto mo,
Maging matapat lang sila sa trabaho nila. Basta maging matapat lang sila. Ayusin lang trabaho nila. Maging tapat sila sa amo nila, ganyan.
So in other words, for Ate Corazon here, like honesty at work, be honest and open to your bosses, regardless if you're a domestic helper or even a worker in your office. It's very important to always be honest with your work and also how you work, right? And that's why she's been here with us for 36 years and counting. We're all living abroad and she's been here. She's been guarding and guiding our house. I feel personally, because as you've heard in her story, she's married now as well. She also has other priorities. She doesn't have to be here, right? But she chose to stay because of her loyalty. And the reason why I want to share her story with you is because in many similarities, she is like Saint Zita. Saint Zita was very loyal to her bosses, and even despite that there were some co-workers who didn't like her and were even talking behind her back, she just remained silent. And she just simply did her work like Ate Corazon here or lang. So I just wanted to share that story. And you know, in this world, there are many people who can relate also, many of us who can relate in varying degrees to Ate Corazon's story. Corazon is Spanish for heart, right? Means love because she has a very big heart, very generous heart.
As I'm currently here inside the shrine of Saint Zita, the patron saint of domestic helpers, here in the Basilica San Frederiano, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart a big thank you to all the household help, caregivers and overseas workers for all that you do. Truly, really, your commitment and service is a powerful reminder to our world today that the work you do is valuable and significant. It is no easy task, and it is a reminder for all of us that no work is small in the eyes of God. To those of you who face many challenges and hardships trying to make ends meet just to send money to your families, and to those of you who long for the embrace of your loved ones because you are away from your own families, God knows and is aware of all your struggle and sufferings, and He hears your prayers. You are loved and cherished. To me personally, it is also a reminder to our household help who have and are taking care of my grandparents' place. A big shout out to all of you, and also to the caregivers who took care of my grandparents. A big thank you really to all of you for all your help and your sacrifices really to our family. You are not forgotten. You are loved. You are cherished. And you know, here is Saint Zita to remind all of us that when we do our work, and this is not just for the domestic help, but when we do our work with love, no matter how small our job is, it is always big in the eyes of God. Even before Saint Therese of Lisieux and her famous spirituality of the Little Way, there was already Saint Zita of Lucca, a saint and role model in finding holiness in the ordinary, particularly through her dedication to doing little things with great love. As a domestic servant for nearly 50 years, she transformed mundane household chores into acts of devotion and prayer. The life of Saint Zita isn't only a story about holiness, but she is a saint who brings awareness especially to the plight of domestic workers around the world. Saint Zita's life is also the story of many household help and domestic workers who always place their family first before their own plans and future. She is an advocate for domestic workers who emphasize that such work is a dignified and respectable work that ought to be recognized by all through respect. Without them, society will struggle. I want to share this story because if there is anyone who is working as a waiter, babysitter, domestic helper, household helper, overseas worker, or a professional worker and so on, you have a patron saint who understands your ordeals and is ready to listen to your prayers. So if ever you visit Italy, do make a stop in the charming city of Lucca and visit Saint Zita, patron of domestic workers. Saint Zita, pray for us. For more similar content, please don't forget to click the like and subscribe button on Anton on the Go. God bless and Ave Maria.